Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Gene, and you're here with Disney with the Ducks. We are joined by my co host, Jody,
Hi, friends.
Lonnie G,
Hey everyone.
Kevin,
Hi, y'all.
and our special guest, Anne.
Hi, everyone.
How are you, Anne?
I'm great. I just landed this afternoon from my Disney World trip.
Awesome. So glad that you could find the time to join us. Today, we will be talking. This is episode 57. We'll be talking about Anne's recent trip to the Princess 5K and running all three races and a special experience of having her 7 and her 10-year-old run the 5K with her. But before we do that, I'd like to ask everybody a question. It's just burning a hole in me to know what's your favorite? Who is your favorite Disney princess? Jody, who's your favorite Disney princess?
I'm gonna have to go to the one that I started with as a child. So I'm gonna go with Briar Rose, aka Sleeping Beauty,
Okay.
aka Aurora. She has 3 names. Just because she was my first love, my first record player love. So I'm gonna go with the classic. I'm gonna go with Aurora. So
Is her last name Borealis, or is that somebody else? Wasn't
No.
sure.
Okay.
That's her club name. That's the name she gives in the club when people ask.
Anne, what's your favorite? Who's your favorite princess?
I'd have to go with Merida because she's the one that's the bravest with courage. So I think she's a good role model for kids.
That's
did
awesome.
you meet her on the course, on any of the courses?
I didn't see her this. Oh no, they were always switching this time,
Yes.
which was a great improvement. So every time I passed, it was Pocahontas. It wasn't her. So
Yeah. I met her at the half, but we'll get to that later. Sorry.
yes.
Lonnie, how about you? Who's your favorite princess?
My favorite Disney princess is my wife. However, since she is just for the show, we'll go with a Disney one. And I'm going to say it's going to be Tiana.
Okay.
My only wish is that she would get more love in the park. Maybe if they can take a ride and close it down and retheme it after her, I think that would be awesome. Only if Disney would listen to this and do it, would love it. So
they've
favorite.
stolen our ideas in the past and not given us
never
credit
know.
for it. You know?
my only
So-
hope is, and you know what? Honestly, a lot of the stuff in Splash is broken. That would be a perfect one. So Disney, if you're looking,
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a great idea.
thank you, Kevin.
I know. Let's see if I can guess Kevin's answer.
You'll never guess it.
Oh, I bet does it start with an L?
It starts with a P for princess.
Oh, done. It's joke time already.
Princess Leia, all the way.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's the best princess in the galaxy, and I think she stands up to all the other princesses. She's brave, courageous, all that. She knows how to handle a blaster. She likes to insult short stormtroopers.
And she'd rather kiss a Wookiee.
There you go.
Mhm.
She'll always be a princess to me. That was my choice as well. But my second choice is Mulan because she also is super bad. She's tough. She's brave. She can fight like anybody and will fight like anybody. I love it. I love her. She's awesome, both live action and animated.
Nice. I was going to ask a follow-up question: live action or animated? I think you answered it.
Both.
Good choice. Mhm.
Thanks everybody for your favorite princesses. Without any further ado, let's get a trip report. Let's find out. So Anne, to start out, would you share with us maybe your experience with Disney races in the what got you to this point to go and do the Princess Weekend?
You mean what got me to run Disney, or what? How many races I've done so far?
Get both. Yes.
Okay. I'm a big Disney fan, and I'm a big running fan. And I heard a few years ago that you could go to Disney to run through the castle.
Yeah.
And I had never done more than a 10K in my life, and I said I have to run through the castle. So I trained for 2 years up. Well, I would have gone before, but the pandemic happened. So I trained to be able to run a half marathon just to be able to live that experience. And so my first Run Disney race was last year for Princess Weekend.
Okay.
I've been back for Wine and Dine in November, and so this was my third weekend.
Well, you've
So
got-
you didn't just jump in, you jumped all in. I love
Yeah.
it. That's
All
great.
in.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
What-
races did you do your first weekend?
All three.
All three.
And then I did the challenge for Wine and Dine, and then all three again this weekend. So
That's great.
I'm
you're not gonna
hoping
go
to
in
do
just for-
Dopey in 24.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I heard it's pretty cool. I also heard
You
it
can-
was
If you can survive registration, you can do Dopey.
for sure.
Registration's the worst part of it.
Tell me, so you did the first race. What was it about after, or the first race is after the first time you said you did Princess for the first time a year ago? What was it that you liked about it that made you want to come back? What's your favorite thing about it? Brought you back again, and now you're planning on, after doing 3 different weekends, coming back again.
I guess it's because it's so inclusive. Run Disney is for everyone, all kinds of runners. You have the really fast ones, but you have the party people in the back that will just, that are there to make every penny worth their mile. So I think that's the thing I like the most. Most races I run around here are all about, pace and time. And so I really love the fact that you have all kinds of runners, all kinds of, experiences.
And
Yeah,
Anne, you
and
said
you run
around
through
here,
the castle.
where do you reside? Where do you live?
I live in Montreal, so Canada.
Oh,
So
Yep.
yeah. So I had to train in very cold temperatures the
yeah.
last 2 months.
That's a shock going south, that
Yeah.
far south.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sure it's going international. You're our first international guest.
Oh
no
wow.
doubt.
No, we had
Okay.
Rhonda. We had Rhonda on, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
For Release the Kraken.
I'm talking about the regular show.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
So, given the fact that you reside so far away from Walt Disney World, did you fly or did you drive?
Yeah, we flew.
Yeah.
So we
Was the Arctic Blast coming to your area? Because that was a big challenge with this Princess Race weekend.
yeah. So we flew hours before it hit. Yeah. So but our plan was always to fly in on the Wednesday night to get in there before the expo. I've heard that sometimes, there can be flight delays that make you pick up your bib on the 5K morning. So
I've
I
heard.
wanted to avoid, I wanted to
Rumors.
avoid that.
Just a few rumors on that. Yeah.
We don't know anyone who experienced that
No.
before.
That's so smart coming in a day early. I should probably think that at some point.
Yeah. At some point, we may want to evaluate that.
If I ever do a race again. Oh yeah,
No,
I'm
you're
signed
doing-
up.
you're doing
Dang
one.
it,
You're-
I'm
you're
You're
doing
already
one.
signed up, Gene.
Yeah, you already registered, Gene.
They have your money.
They do have my money and my wife's money too. Well, I don't even know what's going on with that. So did you run by yourself? I know you've taught, we've already given a spoiler about your
Yeah.
kids running with you. So tell me about your plans to run the different races.
Well, when the last time we were for Princess Weekend last year, my kids came with me
Mhm.
and they saw me carrying this bling around the park all the time. So they said, this time we want to get into that. So I
So you
signed
didn't
them.
force them. That's great.
Nope.
I love that.
Nope. Especially my daughter. She's 7. She really, it's princesses and a medal, shiny things. She was all about that. So I signed all 4 of us, including my husband, for the 5K.
Mhm.
So it was the 4 of us. My son who's 10, my daughter who's 7, and I signed myself up for the challenge as well. So I was doing all 3. Yeah. So my daughter was all about the bling, but not into the actual training part. Also considering it's the middle of winter here in Canada. So we did a couple of training runs of 30-second intervals just to get them used to it. But it was gonna be only they were gonna wing it, and I was betting on the fact that they're kids, they have too much energy, so for them a 5K is basically playing tag for an hour around.
Right.
So
So and did that prove true?
yes, it was. we were just again going to run walk intervals, but how they felt it. If they wanted to run, we would run. If they wanted to walk, we would
Mhm.
walk, knowing that some people walk the whole 5K. We didn't feel any pressure at all. And so we started in the middle of Corral C. Well, actually, we were on the. I was dreading the early wake up call because I'm the kind of person who wants to be on the first bus to get all the character pictures. So we were on the bus. We were staying at French Quarter. We were on the first bus at 2:45, and we were there super early. We got a few character pics, but they got bored of that bit rather quickly. So
Mhm.
we just walked around, talked to some other families that had young children, and then we walked to the corrals. So overall, the experience was pretty good, I would say, except the slow shuffle to the start. They didn't understand the fireworks going off every 3 minutes. Why is it our turn yet? Is it, oh, we have to walk all the way back and turn around again? So yeah, they weren't. So it took us about 40 minutes to actually start. And then once we started, they were really, they were really excited. They wanted to go all out, especially my son wanted to win the race. Um, um, and I would say the only disappointing thing about the 5K this year is for the first mile, there was no entertainment. There was like no marching band, no characters out, and it's the backstage of
Mhm.
Epcot. So I was it's Test Track. So they were excited about trying to motivate them, but until we got into Epcot, there wasn't anything there. So my daughter was like, "Mommy, where are the princesses? You said they would be princesses." Yeah.
You know what? That's interesting you said that. I had a 15, almost 16-year-old. It was her first run Disney experience, a little older. And her reaction was, I thought you said this was supposed to be great. Like, where's all the stuff? Because at first, it was actually like 1.25 is where the first,
Wow.
after the first mile marker, before there was an actual character or anything to see or do. And
Yeah.
so she was like, I think you've oversold this to me. But so did you do the characters before the race? Because
Yes.
I thought those lines were extraordinarily long. Really, really long. So for those people who have not done a Run Disney race, we should probably
Mhm.
explain.
Yes.
Before the race actually starts, you can get onto not the course, but I'll call it the holding tank area, and there's entertainment with DJs and people, getting the crowd pumped up, and they have typically 4 characters out before the races actually start, and you queue up to meet those characters. I don't quite remember who was the 5K. I know Jasmine was there. The coach, the
Yeah.
Cinderella's coach was there. Do you remember who else was there for the 5K?
I was gonna say Belle because that's my daughter's favorite, and she wanted to meet Belle. We ended up only doing 2. Wait, let me. Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, that's we, as I
Maybe
said,
Mickey or Donald or Daisy or one of them, maybe.
maybe Minnie, the Princess Minnie.
Yeah,
Was
maybe.
she? Yeah.
So,
Um,
but I thought the line, we actually waited after the race, and it took us 1 hour to get through the line for Jasmine. It was
Wow.
really long,
Wow.
Wow.
really long.
That's long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard they had a running character stop or a running character, the rug from Aladdin. Did you see the rug? Did you take a picture with the rug?
Anna and I did not see each other the entire race. She has no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So,
I was dressed. I was dressed as the flying carpet from Aladdin. It was the most ridiculous thing that I've ever worn. It was fun. It was hot. It was hot that weekend. If I was hot and I'm from
Yeah.
Ohio, you had to be hot from Canada.
Yeah. Well, for the 5K it was fine. It was very misty, I would say. So, sun wasn't an issue. We had a family costume as well. We were dressed from Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh,
So
cool.
I was Vanellope, and my son was Ralph, and he had a light up golden hammer. So he would, for every picture, he would hold it up. So it was really fun. They liked that part especially.
And what were your daughter and husband?
My daughter was Taffeta, the pink spoiled princess, which
Yep.
was appropriate, and my husband was Ralph. So
Nice.
yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. Yeah.
That's
That's
great.
good.
I know we stopped for Mulan and Mushu on the 5K, and we stopped for the line for Cinderella. They told us was 50 minutes
Yeah.
long. So
They wouldn't
we,
let us get in line. They told us it was over an hour and they had cut the line, and we were in middle of Corral C. So I was thinking
Wow.
of all the people coming behind us.
Hmm.
So
yeah, we saw this was one of my favorites. Lonnie, you would have loved this. We had Lewis,
Yep.
Tiana, and Naveen.
Yep.
All three of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
At that same spot where we waited to meet
Chippendale,
Chippendale at the
Okay.
5K.
right next to Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That same place
Yeah.
right by Canada.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
was a
appropriate for
sweet
us.
character spot. So
Yeah.
we skipped Anna and Elsa. So that line was also, I think they were out for the 5K or maybe the 10K. I don't know. But we only ended up doing two of the character stops because the lines were so long. Oh, and Duffy Bear was out for the 5K.
Mhm.
We also did not stop for that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
We got in line for Tiana. When we got there, it was Tiana and the crocodile. I forget his name, the gator. My daughter loved Louis. That's his name. Yeah,
yes,
she
yeah.
loved. She kept repeating how soft he was and how snuggly he was, and she. But at that point, yeah, we waited maybe 40 minutes to get the picture with Tiana, and the character attendants just told us we won't cut the line, but at 7:30 you have to be out of the park. So but we were fine. But it was fine, and the sun went up while we were waiting, and then afterwards, we ran. It was light out, and we just had the most fun, trying to get the most PhotoPass pictures, maybe photo bombing a few people. Unfortunately, we apologize.
No, never apologize.
No.
Never apologize. That's great that you photobombed them. Great.
Yeah, so the four of us trying to get a few group pics, and it was very crowded as well. So it was always easy, but yeah, so I would say the first half was a bit difficult with not a lot of entertainment, sorry, but the second half was great. We just half ran, half walked the whole time, and yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's great that your daughter discovered that gators are soft and cuddly. I mean, it's a little known fact that we in Louisiana, we all have alligators as house pets. And so most people don't realize how soft and cuddly they are. So I'm glad she realized that.
Yeah. And the only time they're not soft and cuddly is when they're ornery because they have all those teeth and they lost their toothbrush. That happens, then they're mad.
Yep.
But if they don't have it, they're good.
It's definitely not their medulla oblongata.
I was going to say, I thought it had something to do with their medulla oblongata, but I guess I was wrong.
No, Mama said that it was.
Mama said.
Yeah.
But I digress. I'm sorry, Ann.
No, that's fine. No, and she was disappointed afterwards. The gators at French Quarter weren't that huggable. So
no toothbrush.
That's right.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So how was waking them up for the race? Like, how did you get them to bed early enough the night before to get them up that? Because you said you were on the bus at 2:45. I mean,
we were up at 2:15. Yeah.
So how did they fare with that?
It wasn't as bad as I expected. Like at 2:15, my husband and I opened all the lights in the room, and I guess they were so excited about the race that it wasn't an issue to get them up. I don't think I'd have managed 2 nights in a row. No.
Mm-hmm.
The next day they were dead tired. So one was enough.
Okay.
So
and Ann, I'm sorry, Ann, I might have to digress. You mentioned that back at the hotel. So you stayed at French Quarter?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what do you think about that?
I loved it. It's small, not a long walk back to my room after the race, especially after the half. It was very manageable, great food court, beignets. I especially like this size, it didn't feel overwhelming, and it's right across from Epcot. So that bus ride was 5 minutes long. We got to Epcot before the security line opened.
Wow.
So
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. So, we managed character pictures before the race. We got Jasmine and Snow White, actually. And it's because we were there so early. After Snow White, my kids saw the lines and they were like, "Oh no, we're not doing that, Ma." So, yep.
So, what if you had to ask them today if they would do that again? What would their answer be?
My son, absolutely. My daughter, absolutely not.
Even with the bling and the princesses and everything. No?
Yeah. Well, I think it was a lot more crowded than I expected. There was a lot of people in Epcot that day, and the bling wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it for the effort that she made in the end. Like, she liked it and she liked parading it around Magic Kingdom. But it was a struggle. My son, he was fine with running, and he'd have run a 10K if I'd have let him, but my daughter is not into running or, that much to do it again.
Yeah, I got it. It's a lot,
Yeah.
especially
Mhm.
after 4.
Yeah.
So
I'm like
did
your
you
daughter. I hate running.
Did you take a bunch of great photos afterwards with your
Yes.
medals and everything? So so the race finished.
Mhm.
Did you do the PhotoPass photographer at the course before you got on the bus?
Well, it's funny because you can see we have a bunch of finish line photos of us arguing before we cross. So we have like 20 pictures of other groups because we're just arguing. My daughter just wanted to say hi to Princess Minnie, who was at the finish line. And my husband was like, "No, we have to finish. Come on." So you really see us arguing. And then 3 minutes later, we're all in a row smiling and happy. And doesn't seem fabricated at all. But it was fine. Yeah, so we went to do the I Did It pictures with the paddle. And then we got to our hotel. I had to ask them what they wanted as a reward for their race. And they said brunch at Crystal Palace.
Nice.
So, yeah. So
That's what I was going to ask. One of the most important things after a early morning race is where you getting breakfast. So
That's right.
Sound like you picked a good spot.
Yeah.
So just curious out of logistics though, did you have snacks for them when you got on the bus? Like, did you bring some things with you to keep them? Because if you got on the bus at 2:45 and you were still out there at 7:30, my kids would have been cranky and hungry and where are the goldfish? They would have been starving. So did you bring granola bars or anything with you to keep them satisfied or did you feed them before you left, or how'd you handle that?
Good question. Actually, our pre-race ritual now is we always go to Disney Springs the night before. So we had gone to Raglan Road, and Gideon's is right across the street from there. So we got a bunch of cookies. So yeah.
That's smart.
So the pre-race breakfast was half a, they're like 2 pounds each, I think, those cookies. So a pound of chocolate chip cookie before the race was, enough carbs to get them through. And then they had the plastic cheese afterwards in the race box, so they were really happy with that as well. So they just snacked on the snack box for a few minutes before going to the bus.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the bus, get cleaned up, and you went to Magic Kingdom that day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
so we didn't rope drop. We weren't, we took our time, showered, and got cleaned up. But yeah, and I said Mommy was gonna force them to take pictures with all the matching shirts and the medals in front of the castle. So we took it easy again. We could tell the kids were tired. It was 9:30 by the time we got into the park. They'd already been up for 7 hours at that point. So we just walked around, did a few easy rides. It's a Small World, or actually my kids' favorite ride at Magic Kingdom is Big Thunder Mountain. So we always have to do that at least once. Yeah. And then we went to Crystal Palace for a late breakfast.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Now, did you go back and nap that afternoon? I did.
Well, we stayed until 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and then we went back to the room, and they went in the pool, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So they've got, yeah. I was like, nope, Mommy's just gonna lie on that chair by the pool. You guys have fun. Yeah.
So was Tron open? Were you able to get a pass for Tron, or was it?
I'm not an annual pass holder, so we could see it running, and but I never got to try it while I was
It
there.
was still cast previews only
Yeah.
during that time.
Gotcha.
So we could see it.
Yeah.
You could point at it. You could hear people, but we weren't allowed on it. I was just gonna say, it sounds like it was a great first day that they survived the race. So now I'm curious because you're running the next two races, but the rest of your family is not, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So how did that play out? Because other people have traveled with their family before on race weekends. Typically, my husband and I just go on our own, or I've gone with a girlfriend before, but I've never brought my kids before until this race weekend. But my daughter is, she's a sophomore in high school, so a little bit of a different age difference than you had there. So tell me how that worked. You trying to get to sleep and get up early, and so the next day that was. Oh, by the way, before I forget too, how was the expo for you? How did they like the expo?
It was great. I'm trying to remember. It's been I think they liked it. The virtual queue was okay. I think we got number 18.
Wow.
I know some got number 1, but yeah. I remember. Yeah. So so we were called pretty early. So, we just went, got our bibs, and when they, did a little bit of shopping, and when we spent all of our souvenir money in that expo merch. Especially my daughter, again, she's a big princess fan. It was all pink and purple merchandise. She wanted all the things. So
So so mine's a little older. And we first went to pick up our shirts and our bibs, and then
Mhm.
well, no, they had them in different places this year.
Yeah.
So first we went to go pick up bibs,
Yeah.
and then we went to pick up shirts, and then we went to the expo. I don't know. I don't remember which order we went into it though. But by the time we got to the vendor expo, she was done. She's
Yeah.
like, I don't care what's in this vendor expo. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm tired. We'd already been to Animal Kingdom that morning and rope dropped Flight of Passage and had done Everest. She was like, I'm over. I don't care if they've got the best thing in this expo. I don't want to be here anymore. Like she wasn't rude to Chris Twiggs, but she certainly wasn't like, wow, great to see you, Coach Twiggs. Like she was absolutely finished. She was like, I want to go back to the room now. Like she was over it all. So it's just funny. I think I tried to explain to her there's these 3 different buildings and you got to go do all this stuff. But until you're there, it's hard to put it into perspective, how
Jody, I feel exactly that way about the expo, and not even having done the things that she'd done that day. I feel once you get your shirts and you've seen all the stuff, and I've had to talk Lonnie off a ledge about something shiny and sparkly or whatever, something. At that point, I'm like, God, I mean, really,
Yeah.
It's a lot of time on your feet.
Yeah.
It is.
Knowing that you're going to race 3 mornings in a row after that. Yeah. Once we bought the merch, they were like done. So it was noon at that point. They were like, "No, Mom, we want to go back to the room. We want to eat." I wanted pictures with the big numbers, the race distances. That's another tradition. I like to take pictures and hang them up with my medals.
Mhm.
So I took pictures by myself. And then they just took the bus back to the hotel at that, and I joined them maybe 45 minutes later. So really, yeah.
And I don't know what it's about me in that expo. Kevin, remember how last time I was like, I need coffee or else I'm going to become really mean in about 20 seconds?
Yeah.
This time I was starving. We had been up. I was so hungry. I ended up eating a kid's turkey sandwich because it was the only thing that sounded appealing to me from the whatever that after you leave the expo area. So I had this like pathetic kids turkey sandwich and a cutie because I just wanted something light and easy. I knew we were having a big dinner that night, but it's a lot. Like that expo is just a lot. Like it's in your face and there's a lot going on and a lot of
people.
And I really wanted the picture with the they had the Cinderella's carriage with 2 footmen, like, which I've never seen before. And I wanted that picture so bad. And my daughter was like, I'm going to die. We have to leave right now. I don't care about Cinderella. I don't care about the footmen. I just want to leave. And I was like, okay, I guess we're leaving. Like she's over this. So but it is it's a lot. Like that. You always think you can just pop in and out of the expo, and you can't.
No.
Mhm.
I don't think it was as crazy as marathon weekend for the merch, but there was still a lot of people and a lot of hangers everywhere on the floor. And so.
So sorry, I didn't mean to go back in time and
No,
go
that's
over the expo. I've realized that we didn't talk about that. I was just curious about your kids' perspective from that, because that was different. Okay, so 5K.
It was like the quantum realm. That's okay.
Yes, it's okay. 5K's finished. That was Friday, right? So now the next 2 days, you're getting up early and your family gets to sleep in. So tell me how this worked.
Well, we were all in bed by 8, I think, because we'd been up since 2 a.m, so that was fine. I got up again at 2. I wanted to be on the first bus for the 10K. It was really hot that morning, I think, more hot and humid than the 5K. I was planning to race the 10K actually, and I knew I had to pull back because it was too hot for me. So yeah, I got, again, like the previous day, I got to the DJ area, tried to take a few pictures, but again, the lines were long and I didn't want to be too much on my feet, so I went directly to my corral after that. I was starting in B, I think, that time. So I was in, I think I started, it was 5:05, really
You were
early.
with us. We started in B, but we were 5:07.
Oh,
Right. We're in that mass of people. We missed each other.
Yeah. I was I was just my second favorite princess is Ariel. She's the one I grew up with when I'm an 80s kid. So so I was dressed as Ariel that time. It was a lot of fun. I love the 10K. It's a great distance for me, I think. So not too long, but and you get to run by the boardwalk. I love running in that area. Right now, I can't remember all of the princesses I stopped for. I did stop for Ariel because obviously I was dressed as Ariel, so I had to. And I was done about a little over an hour later. Yeah,
that's great.
So was it similar to the 5K where the first mile and a quarter, mile and a half was empty, or was it a little better?
No, it was a little better. I think the first princess was actually Tiana, if I'm not mistaken.
So before the race, we waited in line for Belle because my daughter and I were both dressed as, she was Princess Belle and I was Provincial Belle. So there was Tiana, Mulan, Snow White, who was splitting her time with Rapunzel, Chippendale, Elsa and Anna, Ariel, and Aurora, Prince Mickey, Pocahontas, who was splitting her time with Merida, Mrs. Incredible, Aladdin and Genie. I know how much you love him, Lonnie. Aurora, Clarice. Clarice. Do you guys know who Clarice is? Anybody know who Clarice is?
Yeah, she was the FBI agent on.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Hello,
Silence of the
Clarice.
Lambs,
Oh, yeah.
wasn't she?
Silence of the Lambs. There you go.
That wasn't her. She wasn't
Not,
her.
no, not
Jodie
the one
Foster.
about. Anyone?
I'm sorry.
Anyone know? She is Chippendale's love interest. Now, I don't know which one. I don't know Chip or Dale's, but she is a chipmunk and she is their love interest. That's who she is. Yeah, that's who we met. So I was really impressed with the character lineup on the 10K. I thought there were a lot. It was much sooner than waiting all that time in the 5K.
Yep.
I felt like they were out more for it. So we had skipped Tiana and Milan because we saw them in the 5K. So we're like, why are we going to wait again? And then Snow White was out instead of Rapunzel. My daughter is a diehard Rapunzel fan. So she was like, I don't want to see Snow White. I just wanted to see Rapunzel. Rapunzel's not here. So that was a little salty. But we got Aurora, not Ariel, in our flip. So, but I thought there were I was impressed with the characters from the 10K.
Yeah. That was a lot of characters. A lot of characters.
Yeah.
Was it more spread out with the lines and stuff with that many characters? It would seem like it would be. not quite as long, maybe. And
Um,
people were moving a little faster too because they actually
Yeah.
would sweep a 10K. So
Yeah.
Elsa and Anna had a really long line. They were on the boardwalk. We did
Mhm.
not stop for
Yeah.
them.
Mickey
Overrated.
as well.
Yeah, Mickey was in Epcot. He had a long line. Mrs. Incredible had hardly any line, which I thought was crazy.
Hmm.
The Aurora Ariel were over by that Sim Canada
Yeah.
spot, and their line, we caught it at an okay time. The line was fairly short, but when we finished, the line got really long.
Did you
Okay.
call her Mrs. Incredible?
Yes,
She has a name.
Elastigirl.
She has a name. Elastigirl.
Elastigirl.
She has an identity all her own. Elastigirl.
Elastigirl. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
This is Women's Empowerment Month, even, and you've given. I mean, her whole identity to you is in her husband. Really, Jody? Really?
Oh,
I expect
know.
a little bit more out of you.
I know, I do too. Please don't tell my women's lib teacher from college. She'll, hang me.
You
So
said Mrs. Incredible a while ago. I'm sure that's what you said. In my mind, I heard Mrs. Fantastic, and I just thought of Invisible Girl from from the Fantastic Four. And I'm like, I know they're a Disney property officially, but I don't know if they're characters yet. But I think you said,
yeah,
Incredible.
Elastigirl. My apologies.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Actually, it would be amazing if Gamora was out on the course one
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
It would be.
Yeah. But no, for me, Ariel only had 2 or 3 people in front of me, and Clarice had no
Wow.
wait. I was like, no one knew who she was, I
Yeah,
guess. So
Clarice had no wait for us either.
Yeah.
So I was like,
yeah.
that's a total rare character and no one knows who it is. So
Yeah.
I'm absolutely getting in that line.
I have to say, Run Disney has done a better job with the characters. Really, they stepped it up a notch. I know that a lot of times we used to complain that they didn't have a lot of characters, but look, from you reading the list, Jody, on the 10K, I mean, that's pretty
That's a
sweet.
lot of characters. And then I don't know if it was like this for Princess Weekend, but Marathon Weekend, it seemed like they really upped the number of PhotoPass photographers. I don't know if it was the same way, but they were everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I
So
was
I had
just
to
trying
run
to
a
have
lot.
I know. I was just trying to have a leisurely
trying to
stroll.
walk.
And every time I turned around, I had to act like I was running.
Yeah, and
definitely-
you know I hate running, and I had to run a lot because of that.
Or pretend to run at least.
they're definitely in the park area. They're not in the any of the backstage.
Yeah.
They don't want anyone to see pictures of that nastiness back there. So
Oh yeah.
there were no real
Yeah.
characters, or well, actually Aladdin and Genie were backstage. They were right before we got into Epcot, so they were a backstage meet. But
Yeah.
There are so many jokes I could say about Genie being in the dark, but I'm not gonna do it.
Genie After Dark.
Yeah, Perv Genie in the back, those eyes looking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Disney.
So what was your favorite part of that course?
As I said, I love running on the boardwalk. There's a lot of people that cheering you on. The lights, the boardwalk is lit up. The yacht club on the other side.
You like the whole Crescent Lakes area? Is that
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
Nice thing.
Good job, Gene.
said? Talking about good job. Proceed, Anne.
I would not have known that. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's my favorite part. I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I will say, the big difference to me between Marathon Weekend and Princess Weekend is I think the costumes are up to notch on Princess Weekend. In particular, the men tend to really go all out in there. I saw more men with chest hair and beards and ball gowns than I have in my entire life. They really are committed to their costumes, and I mean, go ahead.
Maybe
Anne.
we can talk about it for the half, but did you see on the Jumbotron the guy and his mom dressed in full length blue gowns that were running the half, and the guy had a corset and a beard.
Oh
It
my
was
God, of
amazing.
course.
Yeah. It was, so a lot of the guys go all out and wear the full
I mean,
princess dresses and run a
yeah.
half in that.
I mean, full floor length with the hoop
Yeah.
skirts and the whole. I
Yeah.
mean, things that I wouldn't wear to walk from my kitchen to my living room, and they were running half marathons of them. It was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved the 10K medal. I actually, I think it's really sweet looking, and I think so I don't know if you all have seen the medals, but they're kind of a Mary Blair feel to
Yeah.
them. They've got this
Mhm.
kind of,
The
really
diamond shapes a lot.
yeah, they were great medals.
Mhm.
I like them better than this last marathon weekend. But we won't talk about that. So
Hot take, hot take.
I know.
Yeah.
I thought they were great medals. So
Really?
Yeah, we still had the 90s music though. A lot of 90s music on course. I was like, isn't marathon weekend over?
yeah, I
Disney invested a lot of money in that mixtape, so they just kept
Yeah.
playing it.
Yep.
I heard Vogue one more time. I'm like, I heard this the entire marathon, and now I'm hearing it again.
Mhm.
Princess weekend. I'm like, come on, you have all this great princess music. Please play princess music. No, they were playing that 90s mix again. It was
Yeah.
bad. So what else
So
about the 10K stood out for you? Anything in particular? Or?
Did I say it was hot? Yeah, no, it was yeah. But no, it was great. I loved it. Anyway, I think it's, as I said, it's my favorite distance at Run Disney. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the course wasn't, half of the course is on the highway, the first part.
Mhm.
And so that's a bit tough, but other than that, it's great. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you finished the race. Back to the room. I guess
Yep.
the family's up, ready to go. They're waiting on
Nope.
you, or
Nope.
okay.
I got back to the room. My son was still sleeping. I
Really?
was like, "Yep, we got a Rope Drop Hollywood Studios. Get up." why are you still in bed and I'm up ready to go?
Yeah.
So yeah, just a quick turnaround. We made it to Hollywood Studios right when they were letting people in at 8:30. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Love
We left.
Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, we left to either Rope Drop Slinky Dog or Mickey and Minnie's.
Mhm.
Both were down.
Ah,
So no, that's fine. So we went to Toy Story Mania, which is, my son is 10, so it's a big video game for him. So he'd do it all day
I'm
if I.
52. I'm 52. It's a big video game for me. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
So
I beat Gene last time, by the
He
way.
did. He did.
Mm.
It's hard to believe, but it's true.
Just putting that out there. So you went to Toy Story. What else did you do? Tell us about your day.
Then we had breakfast at that Toy Story. I forget the name. With the
Woody's
chachos.
Lunchbox.
Yeah,
Oh,
Woody's
it was
Lunchbox. Yeah.
Lunchbox, yeah.
So yeah, we liked the chachos there. And then Slinky Dog went back up, so we got in line for that. I was feeling it though. Second,
Yeah.
early wake
Second.
up, Rope Drop Hollywood Studios. I was like, ugh, I don't know how long I'm gonna last. But yeah, we did the whole morning. We finally Mickey Minnie came up. Oh yeah, we had bought Genie Plus, so we were trying to, use that to get as many
Mhm.
rides in it because I knew I wasn't gonna last until after lunch. We had we had a reservation for Sci-Fi Dine-In.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gene's been there.
I've been there. Steve
I've
and
been
I
there.
Kevin.
had
And
a
Kevin.
nice little burger in a movie.
Yeah.
there.
So, Ann, how does the Genie Plus work when some of the rides are down like that? I mean, you can select other ones, but
Yeah.
is there
Mhm.
anything that they'll give you I guess, did you book a ride before actually the park opened, like when you could at 7
Yep.
and it was down, so they gave you a return anytime? How did
Yep.
that work with Genie
Yep.
Plus?
So
Okay.
so we had booked actually Slinky Dog for one of the first times, so it just converted to an anytime pass that we
Nice.
used as soon as it came back up, and then they say on the website you get 2 to 3 experiences per day. I don't know how they phrase it, but that's basically what we did. Like we got Slinky Dog, we got Mickey and Minnie's, and after that, I think we could have gotten Tower of Terror, but my kids were not into it. I don't know why. We've done it before and they used to love it, but I think this time the freak aspect of it was, it's not the actual drop that scares them, but it's the Twilight Zone aspect, with the ghosts, and
Yeah.
my son didn't want to live through that. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you a question
Yeah.
that Kevin wants to know,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna ask it for him. Did you go to Batu?
Yes, We did Smuggler's Run for the first time. Actually, it was our
Nice.
first time. I had done it in a single rider, and I was always the engineer, so
Yeah.
I'm really good at pressing buttons. Um, I'm the best. Um, the queue isn't too long, so we said, oh, we might as well, try it, and the kids will be well, no, we said only one of the kids could be pilots because we didn't want the ride to be a total disaster. So so my husband was one of the pilots, my daughter was the other one, and it was a fun ride. It's a virtual virtual reality.
Mhm.
You feel like you're driving or
Mhm.
piloting the Millennium Falcon. It's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Good deal.
I was a big Star Wars fan when I was a teenager, so
Are you not
it's really
anymore?
well, maybe not as much, I guess.
How about your
Um,
son? Is he big into it?
no,
More
he's more into things like Minecraft or
Pokemon?
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
he's more into that. Yeah. But I'm trying to convert them, but yeah. So
Mhm.
oh
we
yeah.
were at Hollywood Studios that day. We were at
Mhm.
Epcot, and I felt like it was really hot that day. Like it was just everywhere I went, I was hot. It was just,
Yeah.
it was steamy, and I, a second early morning wake up, I was just tired. I mean, it just hit me that day. I think the heat just got to me. So
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
It's
yeah,
summer rain.
after our dine-in theater reservation, we just went back to the hotel. Again, the kids went in the pool and I rested. So I tried the hot tub, but it was too hot for the hot tub.
Uh,
Well, good deal. So it turned in early,
Mhm.
and then the next day is the big thing, right? Half marathon. Still first bus. Did you make it there
Yeah.
early?
No, actually, the first bus left empty. I was I
Really?
got there
Huh.
and there was like 5 people on board and they let them leave. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was on the second bus, which only had about a dozen people on board again. But okay, if I can get there early, I won't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the temperatures were cooler, I guess,
Good.
that day. It
That's
was
good.
more reasonable. I was feeling it though, like especially my feet were killing me and the race hadn't even started. So it was a bit of a struggle that morning. But the thing I kept thinking about it. The first character, which was only a few hundred yards away from the starting line, was Ray, which I thought was really
Really?
cool.
point two.
Yeah,
Point two.
Really?
No photo
Wow,
pass
that's strong.
photographer.
yeah,
22 miles and
That's
Point-
strong. Literally, that's strong. Coming out, you're
Yeah.
coming out the gate, taking a good
Yeah.
picture.
But I would tell
Wow.
you, and hold on, here's my whole thing though. Because there's no photo pass photographer, I tried to take a selfie, and because it's pitch black, because it's 5:05 in the morning, I look like I'm being shot to death because the flash goes off and so it's a really horrible picture. Like I
Yeah.
think I should have just taken a picture of Ray and tried to not get me in the photo, but it was my goal for the half marathon to stop for every single character. It was like I'm stopping it for every single one. That was I didn't care about time. I didn't care what I'm like, I just need to be able to get back and shower before I had to be checked out of the room. But I'm like, wow, first character, and that's the worst photo I've ever taken. Like that, it was really pretty rough. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not a good start. So, but yeah, it was 0.2 miles. There was Ray. It took
Wow.
me by surprise. I was shocked.
It's really cool.
Good
It
deal.
just there was no photo pass. It was the only one without photo pass, I think, which I was disappointed in, but it was really cool to see her
Yeah, she was up
Yeah.
in this huge. It was gigantic, like
structure. Yeah.
mountainous type thing. I don't know, way up. I mean, she must have been, I don't know, 20 feet in the air. Am I
Mhm.
making that
Yep.
up? Did it
Nope.
seem that high?
Yeah.
It was high.
Mhm.
So
Ray, like Ray, Mary
Yeah.
C. Skywalker.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
See,
Ray Skywalker.
I was just making sure.
Gene first thought it was Ray Charles.
Ray
But
Charles.
then, he's like, he had to, was it Ray Charles or Ray? Yeah, that's what it was.
Ray Stevens. I didn't know.
Ray Stevens.
So I had this is what I had on my list. I had Ray, Merida, Mulan, Belle and Beast, Sophia the First, Alice, Mad Hatter, and the White Rabbit, Woody and Jesse. After Woody and Jesse, I stood in line for 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Did you all hear this? 40 minutes
Mhm.
for Maleficent because I'm obsessed.
Ah, the villains. Yeah.
So where was that?
Maleficent- I got
She was
Maleficent.
in Cone Alley.
Yeah,
Cone Alley?
she was before Cone Alley, right when you leave
Oh.
backstage after
Oh yeah,
Land,
on the
right before that
downhill on
water
the coast.
station.
Yep. Yep.
So I had Maleficent, Queen of Hearts, Evil Queen. I had the trio. There's
Wow, all three of them on one
I had
trip?
all three, and Cruella was there, but Cruella was on a break when I came. That's why I
She-
waited so long for Maleficent, because right when I came down, Maleficent went on a break, and I
Hmm.
was like, I'm waiting for Maleficent. So the Run Disney cast member was like, I kept letting people cut me in line. Probably 150 people cut me in line, and because I kept going, go ahead, I'm waiting for Maleficent. He's like, you can just stay right here to the side, and when she comes back out, I'll let you
nice.
in. Like he's like, you don't have to keep letting people in front of you, because I was like, well, I don't want people to think I'm cutting. He's like, I gotcha. You've been here for a long time. I will let you go before them. So I took so long. I mean, I took forever, but it was important to me to see Maleficent because she is my ultimate favorite evil character, and I've never seen her before. So I had to meet her. And
Hey,
then
hey, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, and then my photo pass didn't show up with her. So the next day I'm refreshing my thing all day long, and it never appears. I get back in town on a Monday. I try to fill out the form for the missing photo pass thing, and it doesn't, like, I hit submit and submit's not working. And I go to a different browser. I fill out the form again. I hit submit's not working. I'm like, oh dear. So I call the phone number, get the most amazing cast member, and I was like, listen, my photo was between 6:35 a.m. and 6:38 a.m. And she was like, okay. I'm like, really? I know exactly that time frame because I took a picture right before Maleficent came out and right after I left. So it was that 3-minute window is exactly when my picture was taken. She was able to find it right away. And what had happened is you couldn't read my full number because I was turned to the side. So that's why but they were super great about finding it, because I was going to be so devastated if
Yeah.
that picture did not show up after waiting 800 hours.
Yeah.
But
They
that's
had-
good, Jody, that you said that, because for
Yeah.
anybody who's not getting a picture,
Yep.
go ahead and give a call or fill out the
Yep.
form or give her a call, and the cast members are more than happy to help you get that, especially something like that. 45 minutes, but that's 3 villains in one picture. That's awesome.
Yeah, and like I said, I was really lucky that I knew the exact timestamp because of me taking photos on my phone of like when Cruella came out and left, and when Queen of Hearts came in and left, whatever. But anyway, there was Anna and Elsa, who I skipped, Tinkerbell and Fawn, Goofy, Pluto, the Prince from Mulan. I don't know his name. Anyone know his name?
I don't know.
Come on, Gene, you said it was one of your favorite movies.
Shang,
Maybe,
Shang, something,
yeah.
something like that.
Abu, Fancy Nancy, and then some person I didn't even know, some Disney Plus character that I still got my picture with because I was like, I'm getting my picture with everybody. I don't
And
know.
she
who
had
you
no
are.
cue again.
She had no cue, and I had no clue who she was, but I got my picture with her.
So I find this interesting that you've named a whole about 73,423 characters, and most of them, maybe not most, but so many of them are not princesses. So I am a Disney expert, hence this, being on this podcast. But
Obviously.
I've never been to Princess Weekend, and I would, to the uninitiated, you'd think that Princess Weekend would be photo passes, characters would be princesses, like every princess you can imagine. And you're naming all these other people. Chippendale aren't princesses.
Woody and Jesse.
Yeah,
Pluto.
they're not princesses. Pluto, Goofy. Goofy. Goofy.
Yeah, I got Mad Hatter, so I was.
You mentioned Mad Hatter,
Yeah.
So hey, it's great that the character's out, but I think that it's a little bit of look. I'm not trying to bag on Disney, but it's a little bit of false advertisement to call it Princess Weekend, and you have all these other people too.
Yeah,
I think we got
I don't think they make it around the actual character stuff. It's more of the themes of the race, Gene. I could be wrong. I'm not taking up for Disney. I
Well,
got your back.
I'm
will
not
say-
trying to
I'm
tell
just
Disney
saying.
what to do, but I'm just saying it makes more sense to me. Whatever.
Gene, I think we got spoiled on Star Wars weekend because, it was nothing but Star Wars characters.
So when we were talking, you guys were talking about how great the character stops were with Marathon Weekend. They're great, but I'll tell you, after my very first race being a Star Wars race and it being nothing but Star Wars characters, I mean, I took a picture with an 8-foot tall Wookiee. I mean,
Yeah.
it does not get much better than that. Stormtroopers, a woman stormtrooper with high heels, and she had a braid coming out. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Darth Vader.
She wasn't the official one though, by the way.
That was
I don't
500
care.
first.
I don't care.
Yeah, but don't get me
I
wrong,
was
she was
first. I
good.
don't
She
care.
was probably the favorite one, but I'm just saying, usually stormtroopers don't wear the high heels, boots,
I
high
mean,
heels,
there were
and a ponytail at the back.
there were Jedi of all shapes and sizes, tall, short, skinny.
Yeah.
Hefty, as we called it when I was a kid, husky, as we called it as I was called as a kid. All different shapes and sizes. And so, as Kevin says, you get spoiled to that, thinking that a race would be just about what that. I mean, because there was.
I'm not sure there's that many princesses for 13.1 miles to keep you entertained that long. Like there's two that I didn't meet all race weekend that I'm disappointed in. I didn't meet Penelope, which from Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, she was there for the 10K in the morning.
Yeah, she was there one morning,
Yeah.
but the
I like
line was
Penelope.
really long. I didn't meet her, and I did not get to meet. Oh my gosh, she's on my medal.
Moana.
Moana, because her line was crazy long.
Yeah.
And I was really worried about the half marathon because I stopped for every character on the race. I was goofing around and I needed to get back to the resort because I was checking out that day. So I had to shower and pack up and get out of the room. So those were the two that I didn't meet that I was super bummed about. Were there any, Anne, that you felt disappointed that you didn't meet or you didn't see?
I didn't stop for Merida because she wasn't out anytime that I passed. I got Moana in the morning again. I jumped into line as soon as I got to the DJ area. I would say no. I stopped for Anna and Elsa because I was dressed as Elsa for this race. But no, I was super happy. I didn't get my picture in front of the castle either, but now I know I have to call because I filled out the form and I didn't get any reply. So I'll call in.
You need that picture. That's your picture. You want
Yeah.
the picture.
For sure.
Now, did it have characters after the race though? So you can, you
Well,
should sometimes do that as well.
Yeah, Moana and the pre-race characters were back for after, but
Okay,
I
so-
didn't even try because the lines were
The
too long.
lines. Yeah.
If I didn't have to check out of the hotel that day, I would have stayed in line to meet Moana. But I just felt really pressured. Like, you got to check out by 11, which means I had to be showered, packed, all the luggage, the bells. Like I that was really going in the back of I had plenty of time, but I just knew it was going to be one misstep and I was going to be in trouble. So I didn't want to mess around with that. So.
The highlight for me for this race was since my husband and my kids had done the 5K on Friday, they knew more of the how it works with the race buses and all that. So my husband surprised me and he came with my daughter to meet me when you get into Epcot. When you leave the Epcot parking lot, I was not expecting them, so it was such a surprise to see them.
That's so nice.
Yeah,
awesome.
it really touched me. So yeah, and they came to join me at the after the finishing line shoot. So
That's
I love
awesome.
that.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it's the first
That's
time
good
I've
stuff.
had family members on the course to cheer me on. It was really great.
That's phenomenal. I love that.
Me too. That's what you need to keep going, right?
Yeah, it really
Mhm.
helped me finish those last 2-3 miles. Yeah.
That's great. How special.
So you said that was the favorite part of your race.
Yep.
Tell me about the rest of that day. So this is your third race in a row and your family's there. And so what did y'all do the rest of that day? And how did you feel? Did you hit it hard? Did you go all out that day or did you pace yourself?
It was we had planned a rest day, so no parks.
Oh,
So
okay, good.
I always try to hit a good mimosa after a race. So someone told me that Whispering Canyon had a mimosa flight, so I had to
Oh,
go
yeah.
there.
I've
Yep.
never heard that. That's
Yeah.
good intel.
Yeah. So we went to Whispering Canyon Cafe for brunch. It was amazing, and my kids loved the shenanigans with the ketchup and the so they were running around with ketchup bottles all over the restaurant. It was great. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm glad they brought that back. I know they stopped that doing when they first came back. So good deal.
So,
Yeah.
hey, Ann, as you know, I'm an expert. We're all experts here around about Disney, but many people listening might not know about the ketchup and other shenanigans. Tell us a little bit about that.
it well our server was a bit I don't know how to say it. They're they can be quite abrupt with you in a fun sort of way, my kids didn't know what to order, or they just wanted junk food, so the server was like, well, you have to eat your vegetables, and when you order ketchup, they just bring you, everyone in the restaurant brings you like 10 bottles of ketchup on the table. So, and they scream in the restaurant, we need ketchup. And our server was actually singing it in the whole restaurant. So then my kids would just take the ketchup bottles and bring them to every table that was yelling immediately. Yep.
They had fun.
Disney
though, huh?
magic.
Yeah.
Disney
That's
magic.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it keeps them entertained because my kids get actually both of my kids have ADHD, so they get very antsy very easily. So we try to find restaurants where they they have fun and not just have to sit down and stay quiet for an hour. So it was great for them. It was great for us. The food was amazing as well, and the mimosa flight.
I've heard of that disorder.
Me too.
What for the rest of that day, being a rest day, no park day?
Mhm.
What did y'all do the rest of the day?
It was I went to nap, and my kids
Yeah, nice.
went to the pool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the kids has coming from Canada where it's cold, those kids really utilize that pool. I got to give it to them. They're like, we're going swimming. We
Yeah.
don't have that up there right now. We're
Yeah.
going swimming, so that's actually
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then actually that evening, another race tradition I like is to go to Beaches and Cream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, No Way
There you go.
Jose or Kitchen Sink.
Yeah, I was gonna say this or that. I'm a No Way Jose kind of girl. Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
So
It's,
smart.
yeah.
You're so smart.
Chocolate peanut butter. Yes.
yes, yes,
You're our people,
very
Ann. You're our
much.
people.
Yes, very much.
Good deal.
So yeah, the kids ate ice cream for dinner, and that was fine. We're in Disney.
That doesn't make you a bad
Nothing
parent.
wrong with that.
I
No.
promise you.
In fact, at Disney, that makes you a great parent
Uh-huh.
because you don't worry about that. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Now, so you stayed after the race. So the race ended on Sunday. You stayed for the rest of the week, correct? So
Yes.
you just came back. So you literally hung out. So park days the rest of the days.
Yeah. It actually it's always convenient for us. Princess Weekend starts my kids' winter break, so they were off school this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah. So we after the deal was always during the races we take it slow because I have to get up at 2 a.m. So we'll do parks, but maybe half days or resort activities, things like that.
Mhm.
But then on Monday, then we hit the parks hard. So we rope dropped Animal Kingdom, and then we spent the rest of the week hitting all the parks and having fun. Yeah, it was great.
Was that your first time at French Quarter?
Yes, it was.
And did you like it? Did you like it for a race weekend?
I did. Again, as I said, it's small, so easy to walk everywhere. I've stayed last for Wine and Dine. I stayed at All Star Music. I was at the last section, the country section in the back, and it was a long walk after that.
Yeah. You don't want that. You don't want
No,
that.
no.
And you deserve so much better. Nothing against All Star, but you deserve so much better. I'm glad you went. You made the right choice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Plus
they-
beignets.
Yeah.
I mean,
Plus beignets.
Yeah.
Beignets.
so I was just down the Saskalua River at Riverside, and they had, when we got off the bus every day, they had all sorts of fun,
Mhm.
like signs to hold up and
Yep.
celebration. Did they do anything like that at French Quarter?
Yeah, same. So they had. It's good you mentioned it. So when you got off the bus, they had signs to take pictures for Port Orleans French Quarter. They gave bubbles to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was amazing at the pool, they had water and fruit for the runners, and they had a recovery area, so you could borrow tennis balls. They had foam rollers
Wow,
with
that's
yoga
great.
mats, yeah, that you could borrow. And they told me on Sunday they're there all day until the pool closes at 10 tonight. So
I wonder
Wow.
if that's what they were saying I never went over to the pool, but they were saying like a runner's retreat or something like
Yeah.
that, or recovery, and I never checked it out.
Yeah.
So
Did they have that at Pop, Lonnie?
No, we walked by the pool and I didn't see that. So
I didn't
yeah,
think they had that at Pop.
that's
no.
something good for the moderate resorts. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure it's with deluxe as well. I'm intrigued by that. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is cool.
Hmm
Yeah,
Water
'cause
and fruit, especially if you're relaxing. Tennis ball, roll you mentioned your feet. That's the thing. 3 days of walking and everything. By the time it's the half, your feet are like, I want to break.
Host.
So that's awesome.
yeah, it was.
Thanks, Ann. I would have never known that.
Yeah, that's good
yeah,
stuff.
that's a good tip.
Mhm.
Any other highlights from your trip that, I mean, I know we are mainly talking about
Yeah.
Princess Race Weekend, but anything else that special memories or unique things that you did that,
We did Cosmic Rewind for the first time,
Nice.
and then
Nice.
and then we did it for a
Kevin
second,
said
and a
no.
third,
Look
and
at
a
that.
fourth, and a fifth. We did it 6 times this week. So
Nice.
Whoa.
Really?
Very good.
yeah,
That's
Kevin's getting
Kevin's
sick
all over
even
that.
thinking
Oh,
about
Kevin,
it.
Kevin's all over that.
Kevin's getting sick. Look at he's thinking about you riding it 6 times and look at him.
It's making me- Oh man,
he's sweating and getting.
yeah, man, I'm hurting over here.
So please tell
Did
me
you
you
eat the
washed your
popcorn?
hands though after you got off
Yes.
the ride.
Did you eat the popcorn?
well, actually, funny thing, the last time we did it, when we got off the ride, there were wet towels everywhere on the floor.
Yeah.
So we were saying like
You know
some
why?
people did not enjoy it as much as we did, but
I
So
actually
did,
sent
did you
them
get
all-
any motion sickness at all?
no.
Really?
Oh, you're good. You're
Yeah.
good.
But rides like Ratatouille are limit, or I'll do them, but I don't enjoy them that much.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
that one I had no motion sickness at all, and I could have done it like 6 times in a row without any
Wow.
issue. I loved it so much.
Oh, there's no
Yeah.
way. There's no way.
Kevin's like, please no.
One
Make
time,
the bad
we
man
go off the
stop.
fake.
Kevin.
I tortured
Oh.
all of them, and after my daughter and I rode it on Friday after the 5K, and immediately after we went, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna scrub our hands like we're a surgeon getting ready to go in for a 12-hour surgery. Like I'm up to my elbows. I'm washing them. I'm drying them. I go back. I wash them again. Like I was crazy. I'm like we are washing our hands like never before. And then I went and got some maple popcorn, and I sent them all a picture. Like I'm risking it. I'm
Yeah.
getting a little popcorn, but I mean it's maple popcorn.
Yeah.
So
It's a
Yeah,
different.
that was
speed.
actually, and this is a true story. On Thursday at the expo, the only thing my kids wanted to eat was popcorn. And I said, no way, you're not having popcorn until after the race.
Yeah, there you go.
if there's anything you've learned,
Wise.
Disney from the
Man, that's
ducks.
wise.
Very wise.
There's no way I'm ever going to believe that that popcorn had anything to do with it.
Hey, you don't have to believe it, man. It's science. You might not have
It's
to believe
science.
science, man. So you want, man. I'm just saying. I just know what happened, and popcorn was the culprit.
That was the catalyst.
Exactly.
Hey, Ann. So I've shared this before. I have a couple of toxic relationships in my life. One of those being with food. Lonnie and the Dallas Cowboys are the other two.
Yay!
But so you mentioned a couple of the restaurants. You have several more days that you were there that we haven't gone into a lot of detail. Of all the restaurants, that maybe you haven't mentioned yet. What's the best place that y'all ate? What's the thing that you enjoyed the most?
Good question. Because we went to a lot of expensive places that I don't. My daughter wanted to meet the princesses, so we went to Akershus. I don't know how to. Yeah, that was really
don't need
good.
Viking
That's
food.
close enough. That's
Viking
close
food.
enough. Akashish is close enough. Who knows?
So that was really good. Yeah, I think Whispering Canyon was pretty good as well. That was one of my favorites.
Okay.
Solid.
Yeah, and we tried Storybook Dining at Artist Point. But it was very good food. But I have to say, my kids are picky eaters. Like they would eat chicken nuggets. We've actually set a rule: no more than once a day. So, so for them, it was too much. Yeah, the food was too fancy for them.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm just happy with fish and chips. If I get fish and chips
Oh, there
on
you
there,
go.
I can eat fish and chips every day and call it a wrap. It'll be
I
just
can
like
do
the chicken tenders. Fish and chips. That's all I need.
We went to Ohana one morning, and that
Mhm.
was amazing. Yeah,
Ooh.
that was great. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
such a
again.
fun one.
Yeah. Good deal. Look like you guys had a very, very good trip.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's it. And I like how it kind of aligns up so that you can make it because we always say there's a difference
Mhm.
between a Run Disney trip or vacation, because it's really not a vacation, and a true vacation, a Disney vacation. But you have it perfectly lined up where you can do the Run Disney vacation for you. That's what you enjoy, and then the regular family vacation with the kids. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like Hannah Montana. You got the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you took pictures with your medals all around the park during that week, because
Yeah.
it was the 15th anniversary of Princess. We didn't
Oh,
say
yeah.
that, so it was an anniversary year. So
was.
it's pretty good. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I never feel the anniversaries that much. I don't know but they gave us a poster. Well, actually, I have it right here. So they gave us a poster, and I think it was a luggage tag for the challenge since it was the anniversary. So yeah, but
I
there
was
wasn't.
talking to a Perfect Princess, and she said they got some really cool stuff. They got jackets, and I mean, they gave them some really nice stuff for being Perfect Princess for the 15
no.
years.
No lunchbox and a trucker hat, huh?
They did not get a lunchbox and a trucker hat. They got.
I think they got a bat robe too. Somebody said they got a nice robe or something.
Wow.
Somebody was sent on.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Trucker hat, bathrobe. I mean, what are you gonna do?
One you have to wear like at home, another one you can wear in the streets. You
There
can
you
wear
go.
both of them in the streets. It's depending on where you are.
You can go to Walmart and wear both.
There you go.
Exactly, especially at
Mhm.
night at Walmart. You
Yep,
might end up on
for
that
sure.
website. People at
That's the
Walmart,
best
but that's
time.
good.
Yeah.
That's the best time to go.
Well, hey,
Sorry,
and
Ann. Gene is trying to run you off the podcast. He's got you. Look at you.
I'm not trying to run you off, but we've spent a lot of time. Thank you so much for sharing all your experiences. This has been great. We really enjoyed having you on here. With that being said, though, it is, I don't know if it's your favorite time, but it's our favorite time of the podcast when we like to share a joke. Joe, do you have a joke for us tonight?
I do. I had to cheat and get my book because I forgot about one. Okay. So, what do you get when you cross a dog and a daisy?
What?
A cauliflower.
Nice.
Oh, that's so weak.
No, that's good. That's good.
It's been a
How
long
about,
weekend.
Lonnie, you have something for us?
I do have something for us today. It's so I'm in New Orleans right now, hence the different background. So I'm gonna give you a New Orleans joke. What do you call a fat guy from New Orleans that never tells the truth?
I have no idea.
A jumbo liar. Jambalaya, get it? I'm here till Thursday. You got it.
I laughed at that way too hard. I think that's so funny.
Kevin?
Okay, so I don't have a joke. I don't have a joke today. It's not a
Okay,
joke.
okay, Gene.
I'm not. No, it's not. It's not that. It's a story. It's a funny story. So, my running has dropped off like the face of the earth since marathon weekend. But I did run a 5K today, and I took my oldest with me. He's 9, and he did really well. We did some intervals, and we came back, and we got to the top of the hill, and he's like, "Man, Dad, I just don't know if I can make it." We looked up on top of one of the houses, and there was 2 vultures sitting there. It looked like they were talking to each other. So he said, What are they saying? I said, they're going to come down, and if you lay down, they're going to, pick the meat between your bones if you're not careful. And so he's like, I'm good. He ran by him, looked up at him, and said, "Not today, vultures." So
Thanks, Kevin.
that's my new mantra.
Sharing.
That's my new mantra when I'm having a bad day.
I like it. So
You know,
not to put you on the spot, Ann, but I'm sorry, Lonnie, what were you going to say?
I say the funny thing about it is when you ran through Animal Kingdom for Dopey, when we all felt like we were dying, they had vultures on the, on the tree. I should
They
say
really
that.
did.
Not today,
Mhm.
but you don't want to eat me. I'm tinted meat because I was sick, so you don't want to eat me, vulture. You know,
So
I got one for you. I got one for you, Ann. I got a joke for you. You
Okay.
ready? Gene.
Where's the
I got
remove
one.
button?
Lonnie's funny.
I don't have a joke, man. I just want to tell you guys, I had an attempt at something this week that just didn't work out the way I thought it would. I thought, to make some extra money, I'd become an Uber driver, but come to find out they really don't want you to go the extra mile.
Lonnie, that look.
It's a look of confusion. I'm sorry. I'll think about it in the middle of the night. I wake up and go, aha, that was funny.
Oh, goodness.
Once again, Ann, I want to just thank
Ann.
you for joining us today. Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you so much for having me. It was amazing. It was a blast to talk to you all.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. We sure did. Thank you everybody for listening. We just want to thank you for coming along this journey. Really, this is for us. It's been about just getting together and talking and having a good time. We're so glad that you've come along the way for us. We ask that if you have an opinion, a good opinion, leave us 5 stars. 5-star reviews are great. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. At some point we were. Lonnie, I think, is supposed to be bringing, Tinder, something, Bumble, something. I don't know. Don't know where we're going with that. He's holding up a shish finger, so I guess we're not supposed to talk about that. But
We don't
you
talk
can
about
catch us.
Tinder or Bruno.
That's
All
right.
Okay. But we love your reviews. We love your thoughts on our Facebook page. Let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about. Any kind of feedback. We'd love to hear it. What can make things better? What can make things worse? All those things, everything. We want to hear it all. We want to know what you think. But thank you again. And just our thoughts and prayers are with the Ducks that aren't joining us today. We ask for that. We've had, some things happen, in our Duck family. And we just ask that you guys keep those folks in your thoughts and prayers, and hope to see guys back soon, joining us back soon. And as John says, Kwaharini. And as I say, I'm a simple man making my way through the galaxy like my father before me.
I
See you
say
later.
bye.
Bye-bye.
See y'all.
Thanks for joining us, guys. I appreciate it.
And I'm new here. This is my first, really and truly, this is my very first time